You wrote the script for Darlin, and I know you're following in, Jack Ketchum's work, who sadly passed away last year.
Yeah.
I was curious what that was like,
Well, it's a good question because, I first started coming to the character of the woman by doing Offspring, which was based on a novel of his, which was, the director, producer of that film just sent me the book and said, read this, which is very smart of him. It wasn't with an offer, he just said, read this. And I was like, do I get to play that woman? She's amazing. So I love his writing and him as a person. I have so much respect for the man and love for the man. Lucky and Ketchum co-wrote The Woman together. And of course, Lucky directed it. That was the second one. And then now with Darlin, I was very conscious that it was going to be the third in a series that had been inspired by Ketchum, and in many cases written by him. But I was also aware that I really wanted to make it my own and make it really personal, and as a writer-director, that it had to come from, my experience somewhat, and had to be really grounded in it as my own story. So I spoke to him about what I was going to write and the idea that I had, and actually Dallas wasn't so keen on writing about religion, something that he didn't want to do in his work. But I absolutely got his blessing to explore that part of the world in this story. And we had him visit on set the December that we were shooting in. So only a month before he passed away, he came to visit us from New York. We weren't sure if he was going to be able to with his health, and it was so great to see a great big smile on his face and him grinning away, and he absolutely loved the experience of being there and seeing it come together. So I feel like we've honoured him with this film, and it's dedicated to him. But yeah, it's no small thing to follow the woman. And that's one of the reasons I made it very much my own, like I say, but also there's some homages to Lucky's work as well, and to Ketchum Lucky world that they made in The Woman, which I won't say anything about because it'll be for fans to find.
I thought the strongest line of the movie for me was, when the priest said, there's no after without a before, and especially that whole scene, where, they tarnish her, they dirty her up.
Yeah.
How often do you feel that happens in, the entertainment industry in general, to give a backstory?
In the sense of trying to make somebody appear one way for their own benefit. I think it happens all the time. I think it's a very, unfortunately, human thing we do, where we try and manipulate others to be what we want them to be, often for nefarious gain. That goes along really with the larger theme of the film, which is the idea of the church taking over a woman's body, which is unfortunately a very real horror in our world today still. So and as far as shooting that scene, I could feel that it was really working. Lauren Canney's performance is so incredible, and she really went there in that cage, and she absolutely went for it. And it's funny that you bring up the line, there can't be an after without a before, just ask Jesus, because Brian Batt is the most fun to work with, the guy who plays the bishop. And he would often say, just ask Jesus. That's his kind of one-liner. It was also a line that was actually questioned whether it should be cut from the film, and I fought very hard to keep that line in, because it is ironic and it is slightly cheesy, and I was well aware of that, but the bishop's denial of who he really is also in his sort of dad joke references, and his absolute assurance in himself. The line is a ridiculous line to say under the circumstances, but I also thought it made sense with his belief that he was doing a good thing, him trying to mask his work in that. That was important to him, to be in that denial. And it's often an abuser's perspective that they have to find reasons that what they're doing is right in order that they can live with it, which sounds ironic, but of course it's not black and white being a bad guy,
For your Walking Dead fans, you have 3 cast members, and especially I felt Cooper Andrews had a major role in this. You have great chemistry with him on screen.
Oh, thank you.
I love the scene in the car. It's quite funny. It's
we had
almost
so
like
much
a walker.
Fun. Yeah, I know. It's funny. There was an image that went out online recently of me and the woman, and a lot of Walking Dead fans were saying, "Oh, she looks great as a zombie," and I'm like, "I'm not a zombie," but it kind of is. Yeah, it's a little bit of an undead look to her, for sure.
Is it Is it difficult? Like, I know a director, like, I know a lot of people picture it almost like an authority figure, like a creative authority figure in like that
Yeah.
chair. Is it surreal to, kind of direct your old castmates, your peers, your friends?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It should have been maybe weirder than it was. It felt very natural. It felt very right. I felt very confident in my role as director on the film, and especially with the actors, because I've been there and I'm from that world, and of course I was in that world in the film playing the woman, so it was like we were all in it together. I thought it was really ironic that I cast Sabrina Gennarino and Thomas Francis Murphy as a prostitute and a cardinal, respectively, because there's a kind of British party theme that we have, which is tarts and vicars, and so I really cast them in the right and left of that, and very different roles for them than the roles they were playing in The Walking Dead with me. Sabrina is such a delightful and excited, fun actor, and very focused and into what she's doing, so she was a delight to direct for that reason. Cooper wants to hear it straight like it is, and one of the things he complimented me on is that I always did that. And I think that's one of the benefits of being friends as well, but also just being an actor and knowing that I'd rather hear it straight from the director than be sort of babied in any way. So if something wasn't working for me, I'd be quite clear with him, like, this physical thing's happening, whatever, and he appreciated that. I don't want that to sound like he needed, that he was doing all sorts of things wrong, but we all need direction, that's the point. And that was something that worked really well, and we just had such a laugh as well. Me and Cooper in that car is such a fun scene to shoot, and we were really enjoying it. We actually went too far in that scene, and we lost our police escort, and we got pulled over by the cops, me and Cooper, with no driver's licenses, looking the way I did, and him being a big guy. They thought that we were in a real fight together.
So was that legit then?
That was legit. No, not that cop car that you see, but it did turn into a fake cop car chase to a real cop car chase. With another cop car getting in between us and not realizing we were filming, because the car was swerving, so that was bizarre. And I'd be remiss without going on about Thomas Francis Murphy, who is just an incredible character actor, and though he doesn't think he had much to do in the movie, it was so important that cardinal was believable, and I thought he did a great job.
How do you compare it to one of your directing experiences in the early days, like The Wool Gatherer?
Oh, thank you for your research. I think the same joy, the same excitement, the same adrenaline rush of seeing people achieve great things, which I definitely had on this film as well. But it's very different directing theatre to directing film, and of course I'm glad that I've had so many experiences as an actor on sets where I sort of got free training in a way.
How do you feel you've most evolved as an actress from the age of 16 to
now? I think I've got less self-conscious. I think I've gotten more brave, and I guess just the same experience of growing up that most people have has happened for me in my career too. I feel more confident in what I'm doing, and less afraid to take chances. Yeah.
What's it like meeting fans, like at the conventions and Walker Stalkers and all that?
It's the biggest joy meeting fans, especially of this show. I mean, the Woman fans, I always go, oh God, you love The Woman, because, I have such a love and connection with that film. And it's the same with Walking Dead. I absolutely love and respect the show, and I think anyone who loves that show, like, we've got a lot to talk about, we've got a lot in common. So it's been an honor to experience through other people's eyes their love of the show by them just seeing you and going, oh my God, it's you, I know that's because of a bigger thing, and it just feels really cool and lucky. It's like a giant connector with people,
Do you feel you do such a project again where you write, direct, star in, and is it
Yes.
a big burden, or you love it?
No, I love it. I did want to ensure that the woman wasn't the lead in this film, partly because I felt that we'd done such an amazing thing with her in The Woman that I taking a silent character into the city, it's going to be a difficult way to do something new and to keep people, for a whole feature with somebody who really doesn't speak that much. I didn't want to do the same thing that we've done in The Woman. But I also was aware that I wanted to make sure I was behind the camera as much as possible. So I think there's a good balance where she's this sort of shadowy figure, and then she really lets rip as well, but she's not the lead. So Darlin was that for me.
Did you choose her, by the way? Is that
Lauren
your choice?
Canny, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had a great casting director, David Guglielmo in LA, who brought in a bunch of different young women for me to meet and audition, and Lauren was the first one that came in the room, and she was the first one I met downstairs, and I thought, if she's half as talented as she is beautiful and interesting and cool and kind and down to earth, somebody you really want to work with. You can see what a hard worker she is just from meeting her. And I thought, if she's all those things and a great actor, please let her be. And she was amazing, and she blew me away. And we auditioned a bunch of other people after her, but I really wanted her. She was the one.
What made you so capable of, when we spoke before, how you're so, fantastic at expressing yourself without even speaking sometimes. Even
Thank
you
you.
do the most, even when you have not that much, lineage, like in when you play Jadis and all that. I mean, sometimes, but your facial expressions, your body language convey the whole character. I feel the lines aren't as important as that. So
Yeah.
what made you make that into a strength? Yeah.
I'll take the compliment. Thank you.
There?
I think honestly, if you're connecting and you're feeling a great sense of reality in the experience that your character's going through, and you know who they are and what they want and what they're trying to get, then you're always alive with the character and with the drama of the situation. And so to me, it doesn't feel that different doing that with less words than it does doing it with dialogue. Those are the kind of performances that always grabbed me when I was younger, and that's the kind of actor I hope to be. So thank you.
And my last comment, I've always wondered this: why don't they pair you up with Rick? It seemed that
They
it should have
tease
been a
it,
love
don't they?
triangle. Yeah.
They tease it a lot with Rick.
Yeah.
They've probably done me a favor, because those Rochon fans they love themselves some Rochon, and they don't. It's a beautiful love story, and it always has been. And they're so equal in their relationship, and they work so well together. And I think that it would really tear a lot of people apart if he was to just cheat on her with somebody else. I mean, that just seems crazy.
I think you should have ruined it a little bit.
Well, people have their different opinions. But I think that towing the line in the way we did with it was really fun and took it in unexpected directions. And I don't know, because of course the continuation of the story may well happen with the films that they're making. So Rick and Jadis / Anne may well be reunited in the first feature that's going to be made, and we'll have to see. But I don't know if they'll necessarily be in a romantic relationship.
You should be.
Do you think so?
I think so.
Do you want to write some fan fiction?
And my last question: you have to describe Darlin in one sentence for people who didn't catch The Woman or Offspring or any one of those films.
I would say it is about a teenage feral girl coming in from the woods, and the Catholic Church getting hold of her and wanting to prove their miraculous work through converting her into a good girl and taking her to her Holy Communion. I could really just say a sentence as long as I wanted. If you said one sentence, I could just carry on saying a whole paragraph in one
That's
sentence.
great. Is that an arrow, by the way, in your
On my finger? Yeah, I have an arrow here. These four quivers are for me and my 3 sisters. This is all the sisters. And this is a moon for my boyfriend, who's called Van Manen. His last name is Van Manen. He's not called Van Manen. That sounds like I'm dating Vin Diesel or something. Casey Van Manen, and this is for him.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Paulina.
Thank you.